debt. And that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits.
Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has found herself at the center of yet another shocking controversy. And this time, the stakes are higher than ever. Reports have emerged claiming that Henyard recently attempted to bribe a federal investigator in a desperate effort to avoid mounting legal troubles. Yes, you read that right. An allegation of bribing a federal official marks a new low for Henyard, as she faces a crisis that threatens to destroy both her career and her reputation. The very idea that someone in such dire circumstances would resort to offering a bribe to a federal agent paints a chilling picture of how far Henyard may be willing to go to escape her current predicament. This development is just the latest in a string of scandals that have plagued Henyard's tenure. What started as suspicions of financial mismanagement has now evolved into a full-blown federal investigation that has exposed an extensive pattern of corruption and misconduct during her time in office. Henyard's reputation has deteriorated rapidly, and the most recent bribery allegations may be the tipping point. Known for her flashy rise to power, Henyard's once promising career has been marred by numerous controversies, including accusations of embezzling taxpayer funds, hosting extravagant parties funded by public money, and engaging in shady business dealings. Yet, the bribery attempt appears to signal a more desperate turn of events. If convicted, this could be the final blow to Henyard's already crumbling empire. Under Henyard's leadership, Dalton has seen a series of financial disasters. Lavish trips, outrageous expenses, and unexplained payments have raised suspicions of widespread corruption, with the mayor allegedly treating the town's coffers as her personal piggy bank. The federal investigation into these financial discrepancies has revealed systemic corruption within her administration. Investigators are now scrutinizing the trail of questionable spending, adding fuel to the fire of what could be Henyard's ultimate downfall. Despite mounting evidence against her, Henyard has denied any wrongdoing, calling the investigation a politically motivated smear campaign. However, critics argue that her denials ring hollow, especially as more evidence of financial misconduct and abuse of power comes to light. The so-called empire she built, characterized by extravagant spending, questionable alliances, and harsh retribution against critics, appears to be unraveling under federal scrutiny. What began as a campaign of hope for the people of Dalton has turned into a nightmare. Early in her career, Henyard presented herself as a trailblazer, boasting ambitious plans to revitalize the community and improve social programs. However, these promises quickly fell apart as reports of financial chaos, unexplained deficits, and extravagant personal spending began to surface. Now, the town's residents are faced with the painful realization that their mayor may have prioritized her personal gain over the needs of the community. As the investigation deepens, Henyard's most trusted allies are also coming under scrutiny. Keith Freeman, once a staunch supporter of the mayor, is reportedly now turning against her, raising even more questions about the extent of corruption within her administration. The FBI has been relentless in its investigation, uncovering evidence not only of financial misconduct, but also of a culture of intimidation and retribution fostered under Henyard's leadership. Reports have surfaced that those who dare to challenge Henyard's authority face swift and severe consequences, from revoked business licenses to unfair terminations. This created an atmosphere of fear and distrust within the town, as former employees came forward with lawsuits alleging wrongful dismissal for refusing to engage in questionable activities. These revelations have only served to further tarnish Henyard's image and reputation. Perhaps the most egregious example of Henyard's misuse of public funds comes in the form of lavish spending. While Dalton faced a multi-million-dollar deficit, the mayor reportedly spent public money on exotic trips, designer shopping sprees, and extravagant entertainment. These expenses stand in stark contrast to the town's financial troubles and have left residents outraged. The people of Dalton, once hopeful that Henyard could bring about positive change, now find themselves demanding accountability and justice. Despite the growing evidence against her, Henyard continues to publicly defend herself, framing the investigation as a coordinated effort to damage her reputation. At recent public meetings, she has doubled down on her claims of innocence, even suggesting that she is being targeted for challenging traditional leadership norms and breaking the status quo. Yet, her increasingly erratic behavior has done little to inspire confidence. Instead, her attempts to deflect blame have only deepened skepticism about her administration's ability to lead. As the investigation into Henyard's actions continues, it's clear that her tenure as mayor is spiraling toward an inevitable downfall. With mounting evidence of corruption, financial mismanagement, and now an alleged bribery attempt, the once promising career of Tiffany Henyard may soon come to a dramatic and scandalous end.
Is it a reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is facing intense scrutiny from the FBI, which is currently examining her financial transactions from the past year. Investigators are looking into whether she has been accepting kickbacks or outright misappropriating taxpayer funds for her personal gain. The list of charges and allegations against Henyard continues to grow, with rumors swirling about her reckless misuse of public money. The mayor's lavish lifestyle, characterized by extravagant spending on unnecessary events and personal indulgences, has thrust her into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Henyard has been accused of using public funds to support her lifestyle, which included throwing private concerts with R&B artists, indulging in fine dining, first-class travel, and even renting bounce houses for poorly attended town events. Despite Dalton's multi-million-dollar deficit, Henyard has seemingly lived a life of luxury, funded by the hard-earned taxpayer money of residents who trusted her to lead the town out of financial hardship. Instead of easing the town's struggles, her choices have only exacerbated the situation, leading to growing resentment among Dalton's residents, who now see their mayor as a symbol of corruption rather than effective leadership. The FBI's investigation has gone deep into how taxpayer money was diverted to support Henyard's extravagant lifestyle rather than benefiting the community. Reports indicate that tens of thousands of dollars were spent on items and events that offered little to no benefit to Dalton's struggling population. Expensive town events that were poorly attended, often seen as unnecessary, were paired with lavish meals and high-end rentals, all paid for with public funds. Henyard's preference for first-class accommodations on trips, along with her penchant for indulging in personal luxuries like private performances, has raised suspicions about her true motives and integrity. These spending habits suggest a leader who is more concerned with self-enrichment than serving the public. Henyard's actions have created a stark contrast between her personal indulgence and Dalton's financial struggles. The town is already facing a massive deficit, and her alleged misuse of public funds has made the situation even worse. Many residents and local officials are outraged and disillusioned by the mayor's behavior, which they see as a betrayal of the trust they place in her under Henyard's leadership. Dalton's essential programs, infrastructure projects, and public services have all suffered due to mismanaged resources. The town's dire financial state stands in stark contrast to the luxury Henyard has allegedly enjoyed at its expense. This glaring juxtaposition has only fueled the ongoing FBI investigation and heightened public scrutiny. Many now wonder how deep the corruption truly goes as the FBI pores over Henyard's financial records. The implications of her actions become increasingly clear. Investigators are working to determine whether her reckless spending was merely the result of poor judgment, or whether it points to more sinister financial schemes, such as kickbacks or outright embezzlement. The mounting evidence casts a long shadow over Henyard's tenure as mayor, further eroding any trust the community once had in her leadership. If the allegations are proven true, the charges she faces could have serious legal consequences, including the possibility of prison time. Such a result would mark a grim end to what once appeared to be a promising political career. What makes Henyard's behavior even more egregious is the context of her leadership role in Dalton. She was elected to address the town's pressing issues, including economic revitalization and infrastructure improvements. Instead, her tenure has been defined by allegations of corruption, irresponsible governance, and personal indulgence. By prioritizing her own desires over the community's needs, Henyard has set an example of how power can be abused to the detriment of those it is meant to serve. The allegations against her go beyond reckless spending. They suggest a deeper pattern of unethical behavior that could involve kickbacks and the exploitation of her position for personal gain. The fallout from these revelations has been severe. Residents who initially saw Henyard as a symbol of hope and change now view her as the root cause of their town's worsening financial crisis. Her actions have led to widespread distrust in local government, with many questioning how such mismanagement was allowed to persist for so long. As Dalton's financial situation continues to deteriorate, state and federal officials have been forced to step in, freezing funds and initiating audits to understand the full extent of the damage. Community members are demanding accountability, and they are calling for answers about where their hard-earned tax dollars have gone. Henyard, however, continues to deny any wrongdoing, framing the investigation as political persecution. But the mounting evidence uncovered by investigators tells a different story. one that paints Henyard's actions as not just reckless, but indicative of a much deeper and more damaging abuse of power.
As the supervisor, there will be no comments, there will be anything, it will be me addressing you guys.
Tiffany Henyard, the embattled mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is facing serious accusations amid growing financial turmoil in the town. Allegedly drowning in debt, Henyard has been accused of spending tens of thousands of dollars on entertainment, including a reported $40,000 Amazon shopping spree in a single day. This reckless behavior, however, is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Henyard's financial misconduct. Under her leadership, Dalton's finances have spiraled out of control, with the town now facing a staggering deficit. In fact, the situation has become so dire that former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was called in to investigate Dalton's financial disarray. Lightfoot's initial findings have been nothing short of shocking. Once known for having a relatively strong budget, Dalton now finds itself in a $4 million deficit, a sharp decline since Henyard took office. This dramatic shift in Dalton's financial health highlights the reckless and unsustainable leadership Henyard has provided. Her decisions, coupled with her lavish lifestyle, have left the town in ruin, but the problems go even deeper. Federal investigations are reportedly underway, with the FBI looking into various financial practices, including allegations of kickbacks. One of the most alarming claims is that Henyard has been using taxpayer money to elevate her own public profile. Reports suggest she plastered her face on eye-catching advertisements and billboards throughout Dalton, possibly in an attempt to boost her image at the expense of the very people she was elected to serve. Perhaps the most audacious example of Henyard's misuse of public funds was an infamous $85,000 party, which she dubbed an event to bring attention to the town. The event, however, was a complete failure and widely regarded as a monumental waste of taxpayer money. It epitomized Henyard's penchant for reckless overspending, further cementing her reputation as a leader who prioritized personal interests and vanity projects over the well-being of Dalton's residents. The community's frustration with Henyard's leadership continues to grow, with many residents now questioning how she allowed Dalton's finances to deteriorate so dramatically while spending public money on luxuries. The ongoing investigations are a harsh reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and financial mismanagement, which can devastate a community. The people of Dalton are left wondering how a public servant could betray them to such an extent. Henyard's extravagant lifestyle, wasteful spending, and possible ethical violations have now caught up with her. As the web of financial mismanagement unravels, the full scope of her alleged actions could lead to serious legal consequences. The mayor's once promising leadership, which was supposed to guide Dalton toward a brighter future, has instead become a key factor in one of the town's most significant financial disasters. The story is far from over, and the questions surrounding Henyard's behavior continue to haunt Dalton. The town's residents are demanding accountability, with many hoping for a rebuilding of Dalton's damaged reputation. The fallout from this scandal has yet to reach its conclusion, but one thing is clear: Henyard's leadership, clouded by excess and scandal, will leave a lasting impact on Dalton for years to come. The latest updates indicate that this story is far from finished, and its resolution could change the course of Dalton's future forever.